Hello, everyone. Welcome to my Boomer Buddies podcast, where we tell it like it was and is. I'm your host, Rick Reed, and today we have her back, Tere, the Ace Walsh. Welcome back to the show, Tere. We're going to talk about another person we lost this past June, a music icon.
Thank you. Nice to be here again.
I think this person that we're covering, who died June 18th of 2025, is very interesting because, well, it's hard to sing the way he sings. It's in a falsetto. His name's Lou Christie, and he had some hit songs in the 60s. He had 5 hits in the U.S., and 3 of those were top 10. And that's a pretty good run. And one of those was number 1. But Tere, it's just so sad. We lost Brian Wilson. We lost Sly Stone. We lost Bobby Sherman, who was last week's episode. And now we're going to talk about Lou Christie. And we did have a request to cover Lou Christie. We've been wanting to do that for a while, especially John Hayes, but he couldn't make it for this recording. We're going to still get by pretty well talking about this wonderful performer, Lou Christie. What do you know about Lou?
Well, I actually did not know very much about Lou, so it was kind of eye-opening. I did know which songs he played. While he also was drafted into the Army in 64, so he was gone a bit and then had to rebuild his career. So that's pretty amazing to have 5 hits.
Yeah, 5 hits in the top 40 and 3 in the top 10 and a number 1. I mean, people would do anything to have just one number 1 hit, let alone have something in the top 40.
Yes.
Well, the first hit he had, it hit the charts in 1963 in the U.S. It was in February, and it hit number 24. Do you remember the song, The Gypsy Cried?
Yes.
That was in his falsetto voice. Well, actually, there was a duo that sang with a falsetto called Dick and Dee Dee. They had a song called The Mountain is High, and also another one, Thou Shalt Not Steal, and a few other in there. So it was out there kind of gaining speed. And of course, somebody else, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons,
Yes.
started to hit the charts about that time. So it was kind of a popular way to sing. And then another song that Lou Christie had, it hit the charts in April of 1963, was a song called Two Faces Have I.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed that song, Tere, because he really wailed on that. And it was just kind of a quirky beat. It had kind of a Caribbean beat to it, and it was really good. Even as a little kid, I really enjoyed that song. And then, of course, hitting the charts in January of 1966 was his lone number 1 hit, Lightning Strikes.
I love that song.
What do you love about that song? I'm just curious.
I do like his falsetto voice. It's awesome. It's like a good sing-along, and it just kind of draws you into the song.
Yeah, it does pull you in, and I really like the guitar. Well, I tell you what, I have that video here, and I'm going to pull it up. So if you are watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. And if you're listening on Buzzsprout or Spotify, you'll be able to hear it. Let's listen to Lou Christie. Here we go.
Listen to me, baby, you gotta understand. You're old enough to know the makings of a man. Listen to me, baby, it's hard to settle down. Am I asking too much for you to stick around? Every boy wants a girl he can trust to the very end. Baby, that's you, won't you wait? But till then, when I say let's break a two big kiss, I can't stop, I can't stop myself. Lightning striking again.
Okay, Tere, I'm going to stop it here for a second. Like always, if you're used to our videos here at My Boomer Buddies podcast, I put the link down below so you can watch it all the way through without me interrupting and talking a little bit about it. But I really liked it because they had the little tinkle piano like they're at a chapel. They had the driving bass, they had some horns, and they had the high background singers in there. He's singing in his normal voice up to just a few seconds ago. and then he launches into that falsetto. That's what you were talking about. It just draws you in, right, Tere?
It draws. He was a very gifted musician that he could do that pretty much all his career.
Yes, and the thing about this song was it could get a lot of play, and I don't think people really got sick of it. They're probably in their car driving, the older boomers, and trying to hit those notes, which is pretty tough.
Yes.
I tell you what, I'll back it up a little bit, and then we'll carry it out to the end. Lou Christie, Lightnin Strikes.
Nature's taken over my one-track mind. Believe it or not, you're in my heart all the time. All the girls are saying that you'll end up a fool. For the time being, baby, live by my rules. When I settle down, I want one baby on my mind. Forgive and forget, and I'll make up for our lost time. If she's put together fine, and she's in my mind, I can't stop. I can't stop myself. Lightning striking again. Lightning striking There's a chapel in the pines waiting for us around the bend. Picture in your mind, love forever. But till then, if she gives me a sign that she wants to make time, I can't stop. I can't stop myself. Lightning striking
There he is, Lou Christie, Lightning Strikes. What do you think, Tere?
I love it. I was trying not to sing along because nobody wants to hear that.
I think the fun of it is it's something that's very difficult to do, to sing that way. And people try, and it comes out kind of as a screech more oftentimes than not. And with that said, Lou Christie was amongst a few people that sang that way and successfully. We touched on it a little bit ago. Frankie Valli is a performer that was fabulous with the falsetto. Obviously, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Think of the songs that they did, and you'll know what we're talking about. Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, who passed away also this past month in June, he was fabulous with the falsetto. All those surf songs and the other songs he did, In My Room. Oh, what a great song. There's nobody better with the way he did that. And of course, his brother Carl sang with a falsetto as well. And here's one that a lot of people, a lot of boomers know, Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Does, I should say.
Yeah, he's the sole survivor of the Gibb family.
He is.
Yeah, he had so many falsetto songs. Remember Jive Talking?
Yeah.
And the Bee Gees had an interesting career. They came out kind of British Invasion, kind of one of the last ones. And they had some of their songs on the radio that were totally different how they ended up. They went from that, and then they kind of went to, like I said, Jive Talking, and what's that, 70, 75. And it was kind of the funky stuff. And then they went into the Night Fever. So they went kind of the disco route.
Right.
And a lot of their songs were falsetto. Very talented, Barry Gibb, and his brothers too. And then Jay Siegel, The Lion Sleeps Tonight, The Tokens. Wonderful falsetto voice. Big hit with that. Eddie Kendricks of The Temptation. The other thing about Eddie Kendricks is he really soared with that falsetto. And of course, you had the bass parts, you had the tenors, baritones on the Temptations, doing all that and then doing the wonderful choreography. I'm fearful of that, and I really admire bands that can dance. Like Bobby Sherman last week, he did a little shuffle dance on there, and yeah, I can't do that. And here's one that is really fabulous and more recent, homegrown in Minnesota, Prince.
Yes, that's right.
Another one who is known for his falsetto. Beautiful songs. He wrote songs that he performed. He was with a band called Bread. Do you know who I'm talking about?
David Gates?
Correct. I love the song If.
Yes.
He just soars on that one.
Yes.
And all these songs we've all tried singing, at least as a guy I've tried, and it doesn't go well. And then Dick and Dee Dee, who I talked about earlier, Dick St. John, wonderful falsetto voice. And then let's not forget Earth, Wind, and Fire's Philip Bailey.
There's a lot of them. There were some I never even thought were falsetto till you just mentioned them. So I will be going back and listening to them.
That's what I encourage all of you to do. It added to the sound of the 60s. Well, even before that in the 50s, it added to the music that we grew up with. And so it rounded it out. And I just love going down this rabbit hole of remembering Lou Christie and his wonderful falsetto and everybody else that I've mentioned so far.
All these groups, when you think back to their songs and the falsetto voice, not easy to accomplish.
But there's one that I have to mention who was kind of a novelty, kind of took TV and radio by storm in the late 60s. Do you know who I'm talking about, viewers and listeners, and Tere?
No.
How about if I give you 2 words?
Okay.
Tiptoe.
Oh, Tiny Tim. Yeah, he was really falsetto.
And nobody knew what to make of him, with the kinky hair and the little ukulele.
Yes.
And he sang some of these old songs from the 20s and 30s, and you just didn't know what to make of it. And he became kind of a cultural phenom for a while, getting married to Miss Vicky on The Tonight Show.
Miss Vicky, yes.
So just to recap on Lou Christie, he made a real impact in pop music in the early to late 60s. His last song, I'm Gonna Make You Mine, was fabulous. And
my other favorite.
Is that your favorite?
That's my other favorite besides Lightning Strikes.
In 63, he had 2 hits, The Gypsy Cried and Two Faces Have I. And that was on the Roulette record label. So if you can remember your records from back in the day, boomers, it was Roulette. And then his number 1 hit, Lightning Strikes in 66, also in 1966, was Rhapsody in the Rain. And he really soared on that one.
You know that one, several radio stations refused to play that because it was about making love in the back seat of a car with the windshield wipers going to the beat of the music. And so they did change some of the words about the back seat. We went too far. Still, some of them still would not play it, but it's a great song.
I did not know that. Of course, that was 1966 along with Lightning Strikes. And that was on the MGM record label. But Tere, that's good trivia. I mean, I was 9 years old. All the lyrics went over my head, and I didn't even think of that. Right now, you inform me what the content of that song really was all about.
I had to go back and think about that one too, and then I read the lyrics and then what they changed the lyrics to. So
gotcha. My mother, who Muggs,
yes.
And I mention her often on this show, she always had the radio on, right? And then there'd be songs that would come on that had kind of, now that I'm an adult, Mom, how could you let me listen to that? She goes, you didn't know any better, and I wasn't going to say anything. Like Lou Reed, Walk on the Wild Side. If you listen to the words to that, she just kind of smiled. Now, there's a veteran parent right there. And then, of course, I'm Gonna Make You Mine, your favorite, came out in 1969, and that was on the Buddha label. So 5 hits, 3 record labels over 6 years. Lou Christie.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Lou. That's our tribute to the late Lou Christie. And this is for viewer Vicky. You asked for this and you got it. Terry just gave you a wave. I'm giving you a wave too. Tell all your friends about the show, My Boomer Buddies podcast, where we tell it like it was and is. Today it was Lou Christie. If you enjoyed the show, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. We love it when we hear from you, and go ahead and do that now if you're on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify or Buzzsprout or some other app, go ahead and email me at myboomerbuddies4, the number 4, at gmail.com. Myboomerbuddies4 at gmail.com. And I just had a thought, Terry. Lou Christie's first hit was The Gypsy Cried. And of course, your husband, the late great James Walsh, was in the band Gypsy.
Yes.
Famous progressive band. You have a print, James Walsh, Then and Now. That's her husband, James Walsh. Then and Now. It's a beautiful print. I have a picture, if you're watching on YouTube, of the print right now on the screen. And please go get it. And if you are interested in it, it's great for your music room. Terry will tell you how to contact her.
You may contact me at email stew, STEW, 854 at hotmail.com. And I will respond and get you a print out in the mail, or you can pick one up.
Yeah, and Terry's in the Minneapolis metro area. This is a very wonderful print. It shows James as a young man in Gypsy, then recently, which would have been the Now. And it was done by artist Bruce Peterson. It's a wonderful pencil sketch. You won't find anybody better than Bruce. So go ahead and check that out. Okay, we've been covering Lou Christie and his falsetto style, and we talked about some other famous falsetto artists that were in bands or solo. Go down that rabbit hole. Check it out. It's been a fun topic. Thanks, Terry, for being here today. And do you have any follow-up comments before we go?
Well, just rest in peace to all 4 musicians that passed away in June. And Rick, you had a special thing about their ages that we discussed a couple days ago when we were talking. And let's hope we don't have 4 more in July, because that was a lot of loss to the music industry.
Absolutely. As we get older, us boomers, death is part of it. It's very sad, but the good news is there is a legacy left for all of these artists that we can check on in this modern times. We can get a hold of their music pretty easy. So go ahead and explore. If it was just kind of a background thing for you, any of these artists, they really have some interesting stories. Go ahead and check out our other podcast episodes on these guys. We really appreciate you watching, and we do this for purely fun. I don't get monetized on this, and neither does Terry. We just love music, and we love the boomer life that we were given. We grew up in a great age. So go ahead again, like, share, comment, subscribe. We've been covering people that we've lost. Next time, we are going to do an episode on American Bandstand. Doesn't get any more boomer than that.
It sure doesn't.
For Terry the Ace Walsh, I'm Rick Reed, My Boomer Buddies podcast. Until next time, we'll see you
around the block.